a big rig. This is the biggest rig I make, apart from that one there, which is a M1000, which actually is 2,000 watt power, and this is 3,200 watts of speaker. This will do anything. I mean, you know, give you any kind of sound you want, and it's clean and powerful and as loud as hell. Same goes for this. It's a more portable version with a 16 by 5 cabinet, which are called 16B. Same top cabinet, other M1000. This is this is a preamp here. That's actually a subwoofer controller, but this is a preamp here, known as M1000. No, I'm into amplifiers and speakers and sound. My whole life has been involved in music one way or another, either on the musical side, playing, or on the other side, you know, either engineering or designing product. You know, and this here is some tube amps that I built. These are 150 watt tube amps. They got one big massive 833 tube in here, transmitter tube. These are known as single-ended triode amplifiers. They're very inefficient. In fact, this thing takes 3,000 watts off the AC to put out 150 watts to the speaker. But the sound is very, very pure. And there's nothing really like them in terms of sound. They are the definitive of audio amplifiers. This is not a guitar amp. This is a hi-fi or studio monitor amp. These are like the ultimate, and we sold these at $25,000 a piece. I'll show you this.
You say that without even stuttering.
Yeah. Okay. This here is the high-end version of the briefcase. It's the same briefcase that we have on sale, except it's an exotic box. In fact, the box itself is veneered maple box and colored blue, because you don't. I never really seen blue trees, so we stain it blue to make it look cool. Goes to my pretty bass over there. Actually matches it nicely, and actually, because of the way the cabinet is constructed, these actually do sound better, and they're a little bit more expensive. These are $1,000 a piece. But if you have a nice collection at home and you want to have a nice pretty amp, this is what you want to get. Oh, this is a special amp here. This is a Fender Concert amp, 75 watt amp with a JBL D120F Alnico magnet in it. I use that. I got a Stratocaster, and we use that occasionally for guitar. Believe it or not, this was bought for $75 in a pawn shop in New Hampshire about 15 years ago. And well, I ain't going to sell it for $75, I'll tell you that. This here is the latest generation called the Suitcase. This is a prototype. It's a 2-channel amp, and it's a 300 watt amplifier. And the great thing about this is you can plug 2 basses in even at the same time and play it. But if you've got an upright and electric, you've got 2 separate channels with different tone. There's an extension speaker. You can run up to 2 extension speakers on it. It gets a little hot, but it will drive them to about 400 plus watts. On its own, it's about 200, and 300 and 400 with that. And then there's 2 conventional, regular briefcase amplifiers here. These are actually prototypes that we built, and I decided to keep them because they're the very first ones that ever were built. This is my latest thing. This here is a 100 watt guitar amplifier that kicks butt. It's based on the same technology we're using here, but it's more condensed, and it's designed to have just great portability and great sound. It's kind of like a pig nose on steroids, a hi-fi pig nose amp. It's 100 watt on the back, 3-band EQ, and it's a very, very high performance amplifier. But don't think it's not serious. It's a very serious amp. It's just designed to be small and portable and incredibly lightweight, 20 pound like that. It's called a handbag because we've got a bag that goes in. It goes in and it sits on your shoulder like that. Yeah, this amp here is really just that you can take on any small gig, even on big gig you put through PA. But it's a really an all-round amplifier that will work on any instrument. It's very compact, so the bass response isn't like these, but it's got enough bass for a guitar, so it'll sound full body with a guitar. You just don't get a lot out of it. It's not a bass amp. It's just designed for lead instruments. But if you want something small, powerful, and clean, It works great.
Man.
It's under the AAD brand name because PJB stands for Phil Jones Bass and AAD stands for American Acoustic Developments by Phil Jones, you see. This, you on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is the T500, which is my tube amplifier. This is 650 watts continuous tube power, which converts to probably 2,000 watts of solid state in terms of how it sounds. This thing is the baddest kick-ass tube amp on the planet, and don't ever use this for guitar. It will probably kill you. It's so powerful. You know, 100 watts of guitar it rips your ears off. 650 watts of guitar would be just torture. It'd be like a weapon. So this amp here has got 4 transmitter tubes. It weighs about 130 pounds. Just to give you a physical size of how big this is. You know, that's the flight case for it. You know, you think an Ampeg SVT is big. Just look at the size of this baby here. There. That's just a massive, massive amplifier. And it's designed to go with 2 16-inch of our cabinet. You never need to put the bass through a PA, no matter how big the concert is with this and 2 of those. It moves air like you won't believe.
What's the price on that?
This is $10,000. And the reason is, it's hand-built in the USA, and it's all very expensive for CNC aluminum again. It's solid as a rock, and it's very difficult to make. So that's a very different amplifier. We don't want to build too many of them because they're too difficult to make. This preamp here is the quietest, cleanest preamp on the planet. We've done many tests with other preamps. Signal to noise ratio is about 100 dB, and it's because we're using all Burr Brown ICs in it. It's very, very special preamp, and it's got electronic crossover on the back as well. And this will drive some of like our power amps here, these are our power amps. These are 2,000 watts a piece, so you could have 4,000 watts electronic crossover with one of these, and you'd be the baddest guy around, you know. So there's that there. That's again a different. This is not a preamp. This is a subwoofer controller. What this does is it's electronic crossover with a 3rd octave EQ from 16 hertz up to 160 hertz. So that you can control your room modes. It's a much more cost-effective way of getting really tight, clean bass in a studio or domestic environment, like I have over here. I'll show my big rig here. This is I have 6,000 watts of hi-fi. These are my Q50 speakers here. Many bass players are using these in their studio. Victor's got a pair. Verdine White has a pair. Nathan East has a pair. Al Caldwell has a pair. And so does Dave Kantz, with a heavier and those are bad. And I got a pair. But there's a few more out there. We built many of these speakers worldwide. They're very big, believe it or not, in Japan. They have tiny rooms. And they're like the biggest speakers out there in the smallest rooms. We sold a lot in Japan for home theater. But it's a very, very serious, very high performance loudspeaker that can give you any kind of level you need, as you know. These things will crush you. They're not the biggest speaker I made, but they're definitely more than enough for anybody who's got a home. You know, they'll do it. So then I have 6,000 watts. There's the controllers there. There's my preamp there. I got a Wadia digital CD player. It's about $35,000 CD player. And a turntable here with a solid diamond cantilever. I'm into hi-fi as well as basses and bass amps. Here's a speaker behind you. I'll show you this here. This is my latest studio monitor here, which is known as a 7001. They weigh about 80 pounds each, all solid CNC machined aluminum. This speaker, even though it's got a passive radio on the back instead of a vent, but this speaker actually is flat down to 20 hertz bass and will handle 1,000 watts. And Bob James had a pair in his studio right now, and it's probably the best sounding speaker I've ever made to date. Better than anything I've ever done in the past. But these are $10,000 a pair, and I sell probably eight pairs a month of these right now.